Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the Convention Center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to them enemies.
Shalom, Israel. And when I
Shalom, it's that time again, Israel. It's the Lord's 54th annual Passover in North Carolina.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
The ISUPK under Commander General Yohana will be hosting the Lord's 54th annual Passover in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Convention Center. This is something that you do not want to miss. Make sure that y'all bring the entire family. The Downtown Raleigh Convention Center. For Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Go to isupk.com to purchase your tickets today. $200 per every adult over the age of 17 years old.
We are not the same. No, we not related. I'm not stuck on living. Death is a vacation. My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout.
The Lord's 54th annual Passover, April the 1st, is coming down to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's right. Commander General Yohana has done it again. You don't want to miss this. Pull yourself. Pull yourself.
It's voting on it. What is it?
Purchase your tracks today.
Know the people been waiting for a minute for something authentic. Came in the truth and bossed in it, made niggas regroup. Had to shed light on a false image, UPK whole court. Now who the fuck won scrimmage? 2 words for soft niggas. What is it? Good riddance, don't affiliate with feminine symptoms. I know you feel me, nigga. This a death threat to hip hop. You don't stop that weak shit, I'ma mix your lean with some Grimlock. When the last time you heard it this raw? What I wish for's when the earth inherited by the piss poor. We been to war, them the ones I'm taking risks for. Ain't got no pics or no cars to hold. Holy angels watch my steps, them Glock guard my soul. Can't let them leave my body cold. I know you feel me, nigga. Let the wicked weep and the meek prevail. God never been 50-50. I shall now awake and sleep a cell. Let the righteous cry, silence the pretender. A rebel without a cause, as long as I remember. That's taking the kingdom, the only thing on my agenda. Can't avoid me, nigga. Middle finger to the ones that try to destroy me. Revenge of beauty, I'm a beast. I told the bitch she can't eat, let she join me for dinner. My God ain't got no regard for a sinner. One call fall on him like timber. I know you feel me, nigga. In the eyes of terror, I stand still. Go to work for the colony, bring it back to the anthill. Plus everything I drop heavy as an anvil. Show you how to stand like a man in this damn field. I know you feel me, nigga. Fuck equality, it gotta be one man win and the rest lose. Wave devastator, I'm calculating my next move. UPK will real niggas seek refuge. Body shots for bars, that'll get you bruised. My niggas whole ranker, check your little attitude. I came to fuck up your mood on your little holiday like I'm Mr. Scrooge. Resurrected from the grave, walking from the fall. Visions in my eyes, gripping the mic, screaming God bless the underdog down by the letter. And live by that protocol, walk by faith, not by sight. Ain't no hope for getting struggles. Life like tug of war, resist or get pulled into a world that never left you. I will endure, election will be sure, correction will be swift. No Will Smith, but I am legend. What else would you call the killer of deception? A leader got soldiers on post in every direction. On gold like a German shepherd, young and a restless. Wear honor like a diamond necklace. I know you feel me, nigga.
Purchase your tracks today.
I'm with shits. I'm with shits. I'm with shits. I'm with shits. I view my adversary through a microscope as a small thing. They wax fat, we ballin'. Babylon keep falling. By all means, these saltines is cracker dust. Esau won't respawn, they the soul people we have to crush. They shackled us, we out the cuffs. It's short turn, a slow burn till after dusk. My Caucasian plantation, those reparations won't amount to much. That blonde hair with them blue eyes and that pig flesh won't hassle us. Shawty haulin' that hee-haw, cause that gluteus on Maximus. My whip drip on 100 thighs. We gunning down, you runaways. They from the cave, not underpaid. I'm Hunger slave, just for fun, play Hunger Games. Put you in the front like you running things. Uriah, any back talk, you kiss the asphalt, and I sing it to the Messiah. You'll be auctioned off with the shipping cost. I'll purchase some good diaper. Bought my Donald Trump and my Richard Nixon. I'm Willie Lynch incarnate. Keep a short leash on you varmint. String you up if you brave-hearted. Only thing red, white, and blue will be your remains washed off of my garment. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang, ayy.
Went from riding on the boat to hanging on oak. God hate these white folks, you can say what you want. This ain't a joke, I ain't laugh at shit. They gon' make it to the kingdom, yeah, with shackled wrists. Yeah. Put they ass in chains with a yoke of iron. Whip hit his back, sound like I opened fire. I ain't gon' lie, I wanna see him suffer. Can't escape, cause under the sun, the place of judgment. Yeah, I got a perpetual hatred. They scared of replacement theory cause they destined for slavery. Yeah. You gotta hear this, the patience of the saints. Hell yeah. Many prophets desired to see that day. UPK, we gon' take the kingdom. He don't deal with other nations, he gon' plead with heathens. I ain't gon' stop until I see him in the cotton field. Yeah. Ain't no other option, I'm a diary.
I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. Ay.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say hate. African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dreams. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, Amy murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, rank and order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
You first, please. I know, right? My bad. Give you a lot of the blood of Christ. I know, right?
La Yashala. Muslims need to stand. When the dummies turn face the east, you're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw.
Abanaw.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kwadas.
Kwadas.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Simka. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Balawaka. Taba'ah. Ratazak. Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Baratazak.
Kuwa. Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Fellow Lakam. Cal. Yubam. What's the lucky now? Come away now. Cause the lucky now. Come away now. Wala'a. Tabayay now. On the side one. A ball. How it shine now. My yun. Right. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Watapara. Awalami.
Aman. In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
I the power of the Hebrew Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. Baba Kashah. The Thunanout. Hakat. Narapa'ah. Call Makallah. Call Matawah. Hakat. Latahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakat. Nahaki. Hamati. Hakat. Al-Kawa. Atama'ala. Nagarshan. Hashim Yahweh.
What Aman in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
That's Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai. Baraklanau. Wayasha'ala.
Wahabayah.
Sapari.
Ba'ashem Yahweh. In the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ahahari. Ma'ayan. Yaba'ah. Aizari. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayam. Wa'aratazah. Ayathan. Namawat. Regal. Al-Yanawam. Shamar. Hanala'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yayashun. Shawamar. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shamar. Yahweh. Tazar. Al-Yeh. Yawamah. Hashemat. La'ah. Yakai. Wayarak. Belayallah. Yahweh. Yashamar. Bakar. Yashamar. After the Pascha. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'at. Wa'at. Ma'itha.
Awalam in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hill. From which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasharala shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Al-Hayyam, Al-Damayam, Lekah, All Thakarash, All Tashakwat, All Kayahana, Wabika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Amaka, Ya'arayam, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'ai Tazawah, Al-Tazapawaya, Marwa, Lakawa, Wanakaki Adam, Magoya, Wala'ai, Yazakar, Shum Yashal, Awada, Kaya, Lawai Tazawah, Labut, Yakad, Ayik, Barya, Yakarata, Ahoya, Adawan, Wayashamai, Alayam, Nawa'aba, Wahagari, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalat, Palasha, Amishabi, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Aiman, Hayawa, Zerawai, Nabanya, Nawats, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadi, Kasaya, Sarah, Kayabi, Banakal, Koyashawan, Nasamadi, Bayan, Daira, Hayawa, Daman, La'adam, Shayadam, Nada, Yatmua, Kaira, Bakazabah, Bakatazal Manai, Call Nasir Ashar, Amar, Nair Rashad, Lana Wa, Na'awa, Alahayam, Shayadam, Kagagala, Kakwash, Napanya, Rawaka, Ka'ash, Tabaira, Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Hariyan, Khan, Daradat, Basaira, Babasa, Wapath, Tabahalam, Mala'ai, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Waya, Bakwash, Shimka, Yahawa, Yabash, Waya, Behold, Idi, Waya, Kapar, Waya, Abad, Waya, Daira, Kaya, Atha, Shimka, Yahawa, Abad, Ayuwan, Cow,
Haratazar. In the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted. Against thy hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
They have said. Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Yasharallah.
That the name of Yasharallah.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And
the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarene. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kisan. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zael. Yea. All their princes as Zabah. And as Zamunah. Who said, let us take to ourselves. The houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
Sabbath, be seated.
Yes, sir.
So we should be first, second, 30. 1733.
I think it was. Yeah.
You read the story about Samuel, about King David cutting the head off of the
that big
Philistines.
Big old African.
Yeah,
So hey, shalom, everybody. So welcome to the Isupk Chicago Sabbath service. Let me see where we are. So we're going to be going back into the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17. And yeah, I think it was 33, right?
I believe someone said it be repeating itself because going into this one, it's saying about how you cut the Philistines' head and cut the head off.
Yeah, we didn't. We haven't got to the good part. So where we are now in the story and in the scriptures is King David has just been introduced. The Lord saw that Saul was not fit to be king. Saul kept sinning.
Right.
So the Lord had warned Israel, if I give you a king and you sin against me, I will not be with you or your king. So the Lord has had Samuel go out to find Saul's replacement. All right. And he went to the house of Jesse. And he went through all the sons. Now, Jesse was the older brother, wasn't he? Yeah, he went to, what was the brother's name? Salakia. What was Jesse?
Jesse was because King David was the son of Jesse.
Right, so he went to the house of Jesse. I was right. So he had to do it in a manner where Saul did not know what he was doing, because Saul would have been angry. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he would have attempted to possibly kill Samuel, or possibly kill the brother who was going to replace him. So he went to the house of Jesse. He asked Jesse if I could see all of your sons. Jesse brought all his sons out. And the Lord did not choose any of the sons of Jesse that were there. So Samuel asked him, don't you have another son? And he said, I do. He's out in the field tending the sheep. And that son's name was David.
Right.
And when Samuel saw David, the Lord let Samuel know that's who he chose. That's who he wanted to choose to be the king of Israel.
Right.
All right. So at that point, now at this point in the scriptures, Samuel told David what that he was going to be king, that the Lord had chose him. And they said his countenance, his mind, his heart instantly changed.
Right.
And so at this point in the story, the Philistine army, Saul's army, Israel is fighting the Philistines. And the Philistines had one great warrior, a big giant, 9.5 foot tall man named Goliath.
Right.
Goliath came on the battlefield, and he, sort of like in the movie Troy, he issued a challenge. He said, your best versus me. If your man, if your best man can beat me, then we surrender and we'll be your servants.
Right.
But if I beat your best warrior, you surrender and you're going to be our servants. No man, and because he was a giant, he had this big, gigantic, heavy armor, this big spear, you know what I mean?
Right.
A giant sword, and his shield was huge. It took another man was in front of him holding his shield. So, you know what I mean? This immediately intimidated everybody on the battlefield.
Right.
You know what I mean? Goliath came out talking loud every day and issued that challenge every single day during the fight. And so David, being an armor bearer, Samuel, his father, Jesse, told him to take some provisions to your brothers who are out there in the war fighting on the front line. All right. So he loaded them up with provisions and took them out to the battlefield. And as he approached the battlefield, as he got onto the battlefield and seeking his brothers, he heard Goliath. Goliath came out again and issued this big boastful challenge. Send out your best warrior to face me, basically calling everybody scared and cowards, and come face me. And once again, if he can beat me, we'll surrender right now and we'll become your servants. But if I beat y'all, if I beat him, then y'all surrender and become my servants.
Right.
And King David, I'm sorry, and David, he wasn't king yet, but David came out to the field and he heard Goliath and he looked at everybody and he gave a speech. He's like, what are we afraid of? The Lord is with us.
Right.
Who is this loud mouth? Who is this dude running his mouth? Who is this chump? Who does he think he is? Don't he know that we're the Lord's army?
Right.
Don't he know that we're the Lord's chosen people? How dare he run his mouth? Why should we be afraid? Don't nobody be afraid. The Lord is with us.
Yeah, right.
And when he did that, it started to stir up the people, it rejuvenated the army.
Right.
You know what I mean? But his brother got mad at him. Who are you? What you doing here? Why you come down to the battlefield? You just came down seeking glory and to stir up trouble. You know what I mean? His brother started dissing him. You know what I mean? But they don't realize he just came down there to give them supplies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he just happened to hear this big, gigantic African, you know what I mean, this big, gigantic Philistine talking crap and insulting Israel, insulting his brothers and the men around him, basically calling them cowards and saying they were scared.
Right.
And David did what he was supposed to do, which was stood up for the nation of Israel.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's exactly what he did, the right thing. And what he said on that battlefield was the truth. Who is this big loud mouth? Who is this big oaf that he should talk this way about us? That he should insult us? We're God's chosen people. We ain't got nothing to fear. Ain't nobody,
right.
Don't nobody be scared of him. The hell with Goliath.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Come.
That's what David came out and did. And so this is where we're at in the story, if you could. Salah.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 34 in the Hebrew. Where you Amar, Dawadah, all Sha'awal, Ra'ihah, Hayah, Ibadak, La'abayawa, Bataza'an, Waba'ah, Ha'arayah, Wa'af, Harawah, Wana Shah, Ma'idar, verse 35, where you Taza'atia, Akaryuwa, Wakatayuwa, Watazalatia, Mapayawa, where you Kwam, Al-Ya, Wakaza, Kwatia, Bazakwanua, Wakatayuwa, Wamayatayuwa, verse 36, Gum, Af, Haraya, Gum, Harawa, Haka, Abadak, Yahweh, it's like Wahaya, Hapalashatia, Ha'ira, Hazah, Ka'akad, Ma'am, it's like a Maham, Kaya, Harap, Ma'irakath, Al-Yakam, it's like Al-Yaham, Al-Hayam, Hayayam, verse 37.
That's a cut.
It's like Kayayam, verse 37, where you Amar, Dawadah, Yahweh, Ashar, Hatazalania, Mayad, Harayah, Wamayad, Hadam, it's like Hadab, Hawa'ah, Yatazalania, Mayad, Hapalashatia, Hazah, where you Amar, Sha'awal, all Dawadah, Laka, where Yahweh, Yahaya, Imak, verse 38, where Labash, Sha'awal, Af, Dawadah, Mayadia, it's like Mayadwa, Wanathan, Kwaba'ai, Nakashat, Al, Ra'ashawa, Walabash, Atawa, Shayawan, verse 39, where you Kagar, Dawada, Af, Harabwa, Ma'al, Lamadayawa, Waya'al, Lalakath, Kaya, La'a, Nasa, Waya Amar, Dawada, Al, Sha'awal, La'a, Awabal, Lalakath, Ba'ala, Kaya, La'a, that's a Yatia, Waya Saram, Dawada, Ma'al Yawa, verse 40, Waya Kwak, Makwawa, Bayadawa, Waya Bakar, Lawa, Hamasha, Kalakwia, Abanayam, Man, Hanakal, Wayasha, Atham, Bakalia, Harayam, Ashar, Lawa, Wabayalak, Kwat, Wakwala Iwa, Bayadwa, Wayagash, all, Hapalashati.
40. You did 40? All right, that was it. Good job.
This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 34 in the English. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock.
So the conversation right now is between David and Saul. David came to Saul and was like, yo, don't let anybody be afraid because of this big stupid Philistine.
Right.
You know what I mean? He said, I'll go out and fight with him. And Saul was like, Saul was pushed back. He's like, you? He's like, you can't fight with him. You just a young boy. Basically said, you already in your youth, and he's a man of war since his youth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Goliath, he basically saying, man, Goliath grew up on the battlefield, and you just a young cat. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're still young. You can't go out and fight him. And this is what David is saying to him. He's about to explain to him how he's a warrior since his youth. Go ahead, Mara.
Oh, God. Verse 35. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth.
He said, look, a lion and a bear came and took a lamb out the flock, and I went out and killed it. You know what I'm saying? I went out and killed him and took the lamb out of it and took the lamb out of his mouth. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid of nothing. I done fought a bear. Right. I done fought a lion. I killed him with my own two hands. Go ahead.
God. And when he rose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him.
Now he's talking about the lion. He grabbed the lion by the beard. Now he so he went out, and when he say smote the lion, he went out and hit the lion. And when the lion opened his mouth, he snatched the lamb out of his mouth. And then the lion raised up, and David grabbed the lion by the beard and killed him. You know what I mean? As a young boy. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 36. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them. Seeing he had defied the armies of the living power.
He said, so look, I killed a lion and I killed a bear with these hands. So this Mark right here, this cat right here, he ain't nothing.
Right.
And he coming up against the Lord's army. He said, I got this. He basically told King Saul, hey, look, man, I do this.
Right.
I'm a killer. Okay? I'm going to go out and show you. I killed a lion and I killed a bear. This uncircumcised stinking African right here, this uncircumcised Philistine, he ain't nothing.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come, verse 37. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee.
He said, look, the Lord delivered me out of the hands of a lion and a bear. A lion and a bear, those are two of the most ferocious beasts that you will ever meet. They are strong, they have sharp teeth, they have sharp claws. One hit can rip your arm off.
Right.
One bite can bite you in half. You know what I mean? Literally bite your head off. So these are two very, very, very powerful animals, two of the most powerful animals on the face of the earth. And David said, listen, I fought them, the Lord delivered me out of their paws. Right. So what you think I'm finna do to this Philistine? Go ahead.
Well, so to break it down so heavy is a brother put on Facebook, had it was this Esau, he said he was a kind of hunter. He likes to go hunt. So he does this big real fat man, look like he's about maybe 650 pounds. He went out to kill the lion and posted it, with a shotgun. Oh, yeah. They said another, maybe it could have been the lion's brother. The lion came and actually ate that man and had his head standing down.
Oh, yeah. That lion came up from behind him and killed him and his wife. I remember that. You know what I mean? But guess what? The Lord's not with Esau. That's the Lord was with David. David went out and fought a lion and a bear, killed them both. So after hearing that story, Saul said, okay, you can go. Lord be with you. Right. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 38, and Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also, he armed him with a coat of mail. Verse 39, and David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not provoked them. It's like, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him.
So David, that's when it said proved them, David hadn't tested them. You know what I mean? He hadn't trained with all of that. Right. You know what I mean? So it was a nice gesture. You know what I'm saying? Right. Saul armored him up. He armed him up, gave him the armor, gave him the sword, all of that. You know what I mean? And David put it on, and he felt it. He said, no, I don't got no experience with this right here. Right. This ain't how I fight. You know what I mean? I haven't proved these weapons. I haven't tested these weapons. I haven't trained with them. You know what I mean? So thanks, but no thanks. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 40, and he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in his shepherd's bag, which he had, even in his scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine.
Now, so what David did was he went and got the weapons he's used to fighting with. He got the weapon that he trained with, which was a sling.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, Esau makes you think a slingshot. You know what I mean? Like he literally had the joint, pull it back. You know what I'm saying? No. The sling is a ancient weapon of war. You know what I'm saying? Right. It looks like a long rope with like a patch in the middle. It looks like the end of a slingshot. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you put a stone in there and you whirl it around. You've seen it on the movies where they twirl that stone around and then let that thing fly. That is a weapon of war that has killed many. That's right. It's a weapon that our people used to hunt. I'm sure David, hunted down that lion and that bear with it.
Right.
Because he said he went and took what he knew. He took his staff and he took his sling. And he got 5 stones. Now, they're not talking about no little rock. It said stones, right. Smooth stones. I'm sure David had a nice size one. You know what I mean? Kind of like the one Craig hit Debo with.
Right.
Go ahead. That's it. I'll go to the next 7. God, I'll pick that up. It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 41 in the Hebrew. Wayalak, Hapalashathia, Halak, Wakarab, Al, Dawad, Dawadah, Wahayash, Nasha, Hatazanaha, Lapanyawa, verse 42. Wayabat, Hapalashathia, Wayara, Dawadah, Wayabazawa, Kaya, Hayaha, Ba'ir, Sakya, Na'ir, Wadamya, Sakya, Wadam na wa dam na ya. Ein Yapa Mara Maraha, verse 43. Well, Yamar Hapalashathia Al Dawada Hakala Anakia Kaya Ata Ba'a Alia Alia Salakia Bamapalawath where you call Hapalashathia Ath Dawada Ba'a Lahayawa, verse 44. Where Yamar Hapalashathia Al Dawada Laba Aliyah Wathan Wathanya Wathana Ad Basharak La'aiwak. Slaki. Yeah, that's like it. La'aipa, because that's a pa. Kamagan. Hashemayam. Walabamath. Hashadah, verse 45. Well, Yamar. Dawada, Al. Hapalashathia. Ata. Ba'a. Aliyah. Bakara. Wabakanayath. Waba Bayad. Waba Bayadwan. Wayanakia. Ba'a. Aliyak. Basham. Yahweh. Tazabayath. Aliyaha. Al-Hayah. Ma'ira Kawath. Yasharala. Ashar. Karapath. Verse 46. Hayawam. Hazahah. Yasa Garak. Yahweh. Bayadwa. Bayadya. Wayakatak. Yasarathia. Ath. Rashak. Ma'alayak. Wanath Thaya. Pagar. Matana. Palashathium. Hayawam. Hazah. Laiwak. Hashamayam. Walakayath. Haratazah. Wayadaiwa. Kal. Haratazah. Kaya. Yash. Alahayam. La Yasharala. Verse 47. Wayadaiwa. Kal. Hakwahal. Hazah. Kaya. La'a. Bakara. Wabakanyaf. Yahawashai. Yahweh. Kaya. La Yahweh. Malakma. Wanathan. Hatakam. Yeah, Hatakam. Bayadibanya. Saki. Bayadibanga. That's it, right? Bayad. Oh, Bayadna was Salakia. Put extra bub in there on accident. All right, let's get it.
It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 41 in the English. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him.
So this is Goliath coming down with his shield bearer. Keep in mind, he had a whole man in front of him. His weapons, his armor, his weapons, all that's so big, he had to have a whole dude in front of him holding his shield. Go ahead.
Good. Verse 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him. For he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance.
So he looked at, he came down and he looked and he got mad. He disdained him. He didn't have no respect. He didn't have respect for David. He felt insulted because he see this handsome young boy coming up on the battlefield that don't look like a killer, don't look like some great warrior. You know what I mean? That's what he said. He was ruddy and a fair countenance. He looked, you know, he see this bright young man, handsome young man coming down on the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a good person, not a stone cold killer. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 43. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that you comest to me with staves?
He said, am I a dog that you come to me with staves? Now look up to me the staves. I believe saying with rocks. Okay. He's like, man, you coming out on the battlefield with rocks? Staves. A vertical wooden post or plank. A staff. Oh, okay. So he said, am I a dog? You coming to fight me with a stick, with a staff? You coming out with a staff. Like Goliath is really getting it. He's feeling really, really insulted.
Right.
Which he should.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a big giant that had killed many a man, has a hell of a reputation. Like Saul said, he's been a man of war since his youth. So since he was a young boy, he was out on the battlefield killing people. You know what I'm saying? And then here comes this little short dude, this little average sized kid, pretty boy, you know what I'm saying, coming out on the battlefield, looking all bright eyed and bushy tailed, as they say, and coming against him with a stick, with a staff. Go ahead.
And the Philistine cursed David by his gods.
So he cursed him in the name of his gods, by the god of dung eating and beetle and rhinoceros piss. I curse you. Whatever the African gods is, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 44. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give that flesh unto the fowls of the air. It's like they talking. It's like if I could, he's talking big, talking bigness, talking like Esau talked today. If those philosophies and that Greek garbage, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
So he basically said, come to me, and I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
You're gonna be food for the buzzards.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna be food for the birds and go ahead.
Come. And to the beasts of the field.
I'm basically you're gonna be food to the animals. I'm gonna feed you I'm gonna leave you there. The birds are gonna pick at your bones, and the animals are gonna come and eat your remains. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 45. Then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword, and with the spear, and with the shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts.
That's right.
The God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied.
He said, look, man, you got a sword, you got a spear in one hand, you got a sword in one hand, you got a spear in the other. You coming at me with a sword, a spear, and a shield.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm coming to you in the name of the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My weapon is more powerful than all that you got. Because I'm coming to the name of the Lord of the armies of the host of the armies of Israel, the one and true and living God.
That's right.
So yeah, while you got all that, I got the Lord on my side.
That's right.
David, the powerful young man. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that he paid attention. He listened to the Lord. He sat out there tending them sheep and probably thought about the Lord all day. Or Lord knows what he thought about, because can't get into his thoughts. But I'm just saying, David is coming in the spirit of the Lord. He's coming in the spirit of a true man of Israel. This is the spirit that we all should be in.
That's right.
We shouldn't fear nothing. And when we come against things in the world, this is how we should come as men of the Lord.
Right.
You know what I mean? The way David is coming to Goliath, this is how you tackle the problem.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come, verse 46. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee.
He said, look, you're defying my God. You're defying God right now, coming against us. So today, the Lord gonna deliver you in my hands. The Lord gonna give me that head, your head.
That's right.
I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to cut your head off. The Lord has delivered you into my hands today. You done.
Right.
It's your last day on earth, big giant. You know what I mean? Get ready. Go ahead.
Come. And I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel.
He said, but today I'm going to feed you to the birds and the beasts of the field. And then everybody going to know that Israel has a God. Because once I beat you, everybody going to know the God of Israel.
That's right.
I'm about to make you famous.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 47. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands.
That's self-explanatory right there. The battle is the Lord's. That's why I said the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
That's right.
We don't need a sword and a spear. We don't need a gun. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a knife and a gun to win the battle. All we need is the Lord. The Lord is fighting our battles for us.
That's right.
We don't even realize it as a nation. You know what I'm saying? We don't even realize it. The Lord fights for us. The Lord will win any battle for us.
That's right.
Even if we have to get physical. If we get physical, the Lord is with us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But we ain't got to worry about it. Go ahead.
God. It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 48 in the Hebrew. Wahaya, Kaya, Kwam, Hapalashatia, Wayalak, Wayakara, Lokorath, Dawada, Wayamahar, Dawada, Wayarataza, Hamairaka, Lokoraath, Hapalashatia, verse 49. Wayashalak, Dawada, Ath, Yadawa, all. Hakalya, Wayakwak, Mashum, Aban, Wayakolai, Wayak, Af, Hapalashatia, all. Matazakawa, Watatabai, Haaban, Bamatazakawa, Wayapal, Al, Panayawa, Aratazaha, verse 50. Wayakwazak, Dawada, Man, Hapalashatia, Bakulaai, Waba Aban, Wayak, Af, Hapalashatia, Wayamayatahawa, Wakara, Ayan, Bayad, Dawada, verse 51. Wayarataza, Dawada, Wayamad, all. Hapalashatia, Wayakwak, Af, Karabwa, Wayasalapa, Mataira, Wayamat, Hawa, Wayakaraf, Baha, Af, Ra'ashawa, Wa'ara, Awa, Hapalashatia, Kaya, Math, Gobble Aram, Wayanasawa, verse 52, Wayakwamba, Anasiya, Yasrala, Wayahawada, Wayaraiwa, Wayarada Pawa, Af, Hapalashatiyaf, Sai Hapalashatiyam, I, Bawa'ak, Gaya, Wayai, Sha'iriyah, Ikarwan, Wayapawa, Kalalaya, Palashathium, Badarak, Sha'iriyah, Wa'ai, Goth, Wa'ai, Ikarwan, verse 53, Wayashabu, Banya, Yasharala, Maralak, Akarya, Palashathium, Wayashasawa, Af, Makana Yaham, verse 54, Wayakwak, Dawada, Af, Rasha, Palashatia, Wayabahawa, Yerushalayim, Wa'af, Kalyuwa, Sham, Bahalawa, verse 55, Wakarawaf, Sha'awal, Af, Dawada, Yetazahah, Lakoraf, Palashatia, Amar, Al, Abanar, Shar, Hatazabah, Ban, Maya, Zaha, Hana'ir, Abanayar, Waya Amar, Abanayar.
Go ahead and finish it up. Yeah.
Verse 56, Waya Amar, Hamalak, Shawal, Ata, Ban, Maya, Zaha, Hala'aim, it's like Ha'alim, it's like Ha'ilam. Verse 57, Wakashawah, Dawada, Makawah, Av, Apalashatia, Wayakwak, Atawa, Abanar, Wayabahawa, Lapanya, Sha'awal, Wara'ash, Apalashatia, Bayadawa, verse 58, Waya Amar, Al-Yawa, Sha'awal, Ban, Maya, Atha, Hana'ir, Waya Amar, Dawada, Ban, Abadak, Yashaya, Bayath, Halakamaya. This is the book, 1 Samuel, chapter 17, and verse 48 in the English. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine.
So Goliath, after David told him, listen, after David told him, look, I'm going to cut your head off. I'm going to kill you and cut your head off today and show the world that Israel has a God with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've been delivered in my hands. You came to me with a sword and spear, but I'm coming to you with the spirit of the Lord. When Goliath heard that, he got mad and he came at David. And guess what? David didn't back down. David went right towards the Philistine army. He went right at Goliath. Go ahead.
Verse 49. And David put his head in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth.
So David took that, as they come and rushing towards each other, David took that rock out, loaded up that sling, twirled that bad boy, and boom, caught him right in the forehead, right in the middle of the head. Hit him so hard, the stone sunk into his head. You know what I'm saying? That dented that big old African head up and knocked him cold. They said Goliath fell right upon his face. He smashed him in the head with a rock. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
That's 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David.
Right. So he said he smote the Philistine and slew him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but he didn't have a sword in his hand. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Times 1. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith.
Now, this is a part that the Christian church and that our oppressors get wrong about the story of David and Goliath. they would have you think that David killed Goliath with a stone.
Right.
That he took a slingshot and shot Goliath in the forehead. You know what I'm saying? And that's what killed Goliath. No, I've even seen they made it into a myth. That Goliath's supposed to be some big guy, gigantic giant, right. And they said that the giant has a weakness in their skull,
right?
A soft spot in the middle of their skull, and David knew that, right. So he aimed for that's the giant's weakness. Like you can't kill a giant any other way, but if you hit him in the middle of his forehead, it's a soft spot there.
Right.
Well, his skull is soft, so that's how. Man, come on, they will give you all types of philosophies and theories about how this went.
Right.
David knocked Goliath out.
Right.
He ran up, grabbed Goliath's sword, and cut his head off. The stone didn't kill Goliath. The sword killed Goliath. Goliath didn't die from getting hit in the head with a rock. Goliath died by getting his head cut off.
Right.
It just said it right here in the story. Read that again.
Verse 51. Therefore, David ran and stood upon the Philistines.
He ran and stood upon the Philistines, stood over him. Go ahead.
And took his sword.
And took Goliath's sword.
And drew it out of the sheath thereof.
Pulled that boy up out of. He took Goliath's sword, pulled it out the sheath.
And slew him.
And what?
And slew him.
And what?
And slew him.
And killed him with the darn sword. And then what?
And cut off his head therewith.
And he cut his head off. He knocked Goliath out and cut off his head. A two-hitter quitter.
Right.
The stone. Now it was 3 hits in that. It was 3 hits in that fight. The stone hit Goliath. Goliath hit the ground, and then that sword hit Goliath's neck.
That's right.
And the fight was over.
That's right.
That was it.
That's right.
David did not kill Goliath with a stone. Get that myth, that fanciful, magical mythology out of your head.
Right.
David slew Goliath with Goliath's own sword.
Right.
You know what I mean? Keep reading.
And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled.
They what?
They fled.
Because remember, Goliath was the giant of the Philistines. He was their pride and joy.
Right.
He was the big warrior that slew so many, and everybody in the world was afraid of Goliath. Everybody in Israel was afraid of Goliath. I'm sure Goliath intimidated many because not only was he a gigantic man, he had a reputation as an unbeatable, unstoppable killer.
Right.
9.5 feet tall. Yeah. You gonna be damn near unstoppable.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And I'm sure he was unbelievably strong. You know what I'm saying? But he met the right one that day. He met a fearless warrior. He met a stone cold killer named David.
That's right.
David knew he can beat Goliath because you know what else out there it can be at 9 feet tall? A goddamn bear.
Right.
So David had practiced to fight Goliath. He killed a lion and he killed a bear.
Right.
So a man is nothing. And he didn't shoot him like Mariah was saying, like our cowardly oppressors do when they go out and hunt innocent lions. Right. You know what I mean? On reservations, on forest preserves and jungle, whatever, them habitats that they got for them where they keep them like big pets. Right. You know what I'm saying? He don't go and harm a lion that's been around humans and friendly with humans and been probably licked the palm of the hand of some humans and stuff, feeding them. No, David killed a wild lion.
Right.
And David didn't go and kill Yogi Bear. He went and killed a wild bear. Right. You know what I mean? He killed some ferocious animals. So killing Goliath was nothing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, back to the point. David killed Goliath by the sword, not the stone. The stone was David's weapon of choice, and he hit Goliath in the head and smote him and knocked him out. And then he ran up on him while he was down, took his sword and cut his head off.
Right.
Then that was the end of Goliath. Go ahead.
God, 52. And the men of Israel and Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Sha'araim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron.
After that, course, that charged the army up right there. Right. The one thing they feared in the Philistine army was dead.
Right.
David re-energized the army again, and then that made the Philistines turn tail and run because they lost their great weapon. Right. They lost their greatest warrior to a young boy. Really to the might of the Lord. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they ran, and of course, when your enemies run, they chase them down and smote them. Go ahead.
Right. 53. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. Verse 54. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent.
So he brought the head of Goliath's head to Jerusalem, but he kept Goliath's armor in his tent. Right. Yeah, he kept. That's a wonderful souvenir. Right. That is a great spoil of war. The armor of the unbeaten, mighty, destructive giant Goliath. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 55. And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? Mm-hmm. And Abner said, as thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell.
He said, yo, whose boy is that? Abner said, hey, Saki, sir, I don't know. I can't tell you. I as the soul liveth, I have no idea who this boy is. Go ahead.
Comment 56, and the king said, inquire thou whose son the stripling is. Mm-hmm. 57, and as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. Mm-hmm. Verse 58, Saul said to him, whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse the Bethlehemite.
There we go. All right, let's go to chapter 18. So David was great from his youth. The Lord chose David. And the reason David was so confident is because he knew the Lord had chosen him. Samuel told David, the Lord chose you. You know what I mean? And when Samuel told David that, I told you earlier, it said in the scriptures, when he told David that, it instantly changed, David's heart changed that day. You know what I mean? Right. David's mind changed. He knew that he was something special. It was confirmed for him that he was something special, that the Lord was on his side. Right. And David put his trust in the Lord.
So it's like these next three books, mm-hmm. First Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles. This is the history of all the kings and how really it's a major point in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying, on how we as a nation, you know what I'm saying, everybody should tune into this. You can basically break damn the whole Bible down. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Excellent point. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into it.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Where Yahya, Kakalatia, Kakalatua, Ladabar, Al, Sha'awal, Wanapash, Yahweh Nathan, Lakoshara, Banapash, Dawada, where Yahabawa, where Yahabawa, Yahawanathan, Kana Pashawa, verse 2, where Kwakawa, Sha'awal, Bayawan, Hahawa, Wala'a, Latanawa, Lashua, Bayaf, Abayawa, verse 3, where Yakaraf, Yahweh Nathan, Wanawad, Wadawada, Barayaf, Habatawa, Atawa, Kanapashua, verse 4, where Tapashat, Yahweh Nathan, Af, Hama Ayal, Ashar, Al Yuwa, where Tanahawa, Ladawada, Wamayadwa, Wa'ai, Karabwa, Wa'ai, Kwashatawa, Waya'ai, Hagarwa. Verse 5, Wayataza'a, Dawada, Bakal, Ashar, Yashilakandwa, Sha'awal, Yashakayal, Wayashamahawa, Sha'awal, Al, Anashiya, Hamalakama, it's like Hamalakma, Wayata, Ba'ayanaya, Kal, Ha'ain, Wagam, Bayayanya, Ibadia, Sha'awal, verse 6, Wayahaya, Baba Wa'af, Kashawa, Dawada, Makawaf, Af, Palashatia, with the Taza Ana, Hadashiyam, Makal, Ariya, Yasharala, Lashawar, Lashayar, Wamala, it's like Wa, Makalawaf, Nakara'af, Sha'awal, Hamalak, Batapayam, Bashamaka, Wabashalayam, Wabalashayam, verse 7. What the Ayana, Hanasiyam, Hamashikanawaf, Hamashikawaf, what the Amaran, Haka, Sha'awal, Ba'alapawa, Ba'alapayan, Ba'alapayawa, what Dawada, Araba, the Yahweh. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, and verse 1 in the English. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul. Verse 2, and Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Verse 3, and Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. Verse 4, and Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle.
So when basically it's self-explanatory, when he finished speaking to Saul, Jonathan was there and he was like, you know what I mean? Jonathan was like, wow, like he fell in love with him, and not in a homosexual way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not like he fell in love with him to be his lover, like how I love my brothers. I love Mariah as my brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love Cap Marquardt, Commander General Yohana, General Muhammad. I love the men that are my brothers in the UPK, like they're my own flesh and blood. And as he said, he took his garment off and his bow and his sword and gave it to David. You know what I mean? He gave him the shirt off his back.
Right.
So that's the type of love that they talk about. How I love my brothers enough, I would give them the shirt off my back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Jonathan instantly had love for David. You know what I'm saying? Had a brotherly love for David. Right after he finished talking to Saul, he was like, yo, that's my man's right there. Like, I love this dude. Like he raw. That cat is dope. I love this dude. Take my garment, take my sword. Like anything you want. You that dude. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's how much love he had for that man. You know what I'm saying? Instantly, they became best friends. That's why they made a covenant with each other. They made friendship with each other, man.
That's right.
You know, some of you conscious community cats try to make it seem like some homosexual type thing because you got homosexual thoughts in your mind. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand brotherhood. You don't understand the love a brother has for his brother, especially a brother he goes to war with on the battlefield, that he faced down the army with, that you'll face down the world with. You don't understand that type of love.
That's right.
And I'm passionate about it because I do.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And all the men in the Isupk, we understand the love that David and Jonathan had for each other. Wasn't no man-on-man love. That's a brotherly love. That's a brother-to-brother love. That's a love you have for your best friends. That's your ride or die.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That type of love. If you can't understand the love that you have for your brother, that you would ride and die for, that you would kill for, that you would get a shirt off your back for, then you ain't a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't understand what brotherhood and friendship and love really is. All right? Go ahead.
Amazing. So what you bringing up so damn heavy, and I don't understand is how the hell these damn police officers, these brothers, did that to their young brother, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know why? They did not have that love for their own people.
Right.
They actually hate their own people. They want to prove to Massa that they good slaves.
Right.
They want to prove to Massa that they not niggas, that they not black, that they not like they not like the rest of us.
Right.
So they went and killed a brother. They don't got that love that that Jonathan had for David,
right.
and that David had for Jonathan, or that the men of the UPK got for each other and all our people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Let's continue on.
Come. 5. And David, without whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war. And he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants.
So David, after that day, you know what I mean? Wherever Saul sent David to go, David went. David followed all of Saul's orders.
Right.
Whatever Saul told him to do, he did. And by doing that, he was set over the armies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He gained favor in the eyes of the people of Israel. Saul's servants loved him. Everybody loved David.
That's right.
The same way that Jonathan saw it was like, damn, I love this dude. Everybody loved King David, man. So now I guess everybody gay though, right? Because they all love David. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now just him and Jonathan. Like, come on, that whole philosophy when y'all try to use that is just so unseemly, man. It's so disgusting. David was a good dude. He was a great warrior.
That's right.
He was chosen by God to be the king of Israel. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And unify the kingdoms and everything. David had a great destiny ahead of him, and the people loved David.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Come. 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel. All cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music.
So after David killed Goliath and returned from slaughter, after he came back from the slaughter of the Philistines, because during the time of King Saul, we was at war with the Philistines, something heavy. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the main enemy right there. You know what I'm saying? So David came back, and all the women of the city came out singing. You know what I mean? Singing and dancing and celebrating. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul had slain his thousands. And David his 10,000.
See, women be causing trouble.
Right.
You know what I mean? They singing, David came back and they singing about Saul. They met King Saul talking about Saul has slain his thousands, but David has slain 10,000.
Right.
Like, do you know how much contention that's going to cause? Well, let's see what this simple song that the ladies sang, what it did.
It's like I said, didn't General Muhammad talk about that in Thursday's class?
He did talk about that in Thursday's class, and here we are in the scripture. You know what I mean? What we at? Verse 8. It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, and verse 8 in the Hebrew. Well, your car. La Sharala. No, Slaki. La Shawal. Ma'ad. Will you ride? Bayan Yuwa. Hadabar. Hazah. Will Yamar. Nathania, Nathanwa, La Dawada, Rababawath, Walaya, Nathan, Nathan, I don't know why I just got tongue tied. So like Nathanwa.
Chicken sandwich.
Right. He's silly. Halapayam, Yam. Why war? Lawa. Ak. Hama Lawaka. Verse 9. Wayahaya. Mawal. Let's talk it. Shawal. Iwan. Yawayan. Ath. Dawada. Mahayawam. Hahawa. Hahawa'a. Wa'alaha. Verse 10. Wayahaya. Mamatarath. What is a lock? Rawak. Al-Yaham. Al-Hayam. Ra'aiha. Al. Shawal. Wayatan Ba'a. Batawan. Batawak. Habayath. Wada. Managan. Bayadwa. Kayawam. Kayawam. Bayawam. Wahakanyath. Bayad. Shawal. Verse 11. Wayatal. Shawal. Ath. Hakanyath. Wayamar. Aka. Badawada. Yabakoyar. Yeah. Wabakoyar. Wayasab. Dawada. Mapanyawa. Pa'im yum. Verse 12. Wayara. Ashawal. Sha'awal. Malapanya. Dawada. Kaya. Haya. Yahweh. Imawa. Wama'ai. Sha'awal. Sar. Verse 13. Wuyasarwa. Shawal. Ma'imawa. Wuyashamawa. Lawa. Ashar. Lawa. Shar. Alap. Wuyatazar. Wuyaba. Lapanya. Ha'aim. Verse 14. Wayahaya. Dawada. Lakal. Darakwa. Darakyawa. Mashakya. Sakya. Mashayakal. Sakya. Mashakya. Yahweh. Imar. Sakya. Imawa.
The book, 1 Samuel, chapter 18 and verse 8, in the English.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him.
See, now they came out singing this song, and now Saul, they done ticked the king off. They done pissed him off. Go ahead.
Come. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me, it's like, and to me, they have ascribed but thousands.
He's like, what? Like, I'm the king. You know what I mean? I get the glory. They didn't talk about David and killed 10,000s, and they only said I'd have killed a couple thousand. Like that's insulting. You know what I mean? That's really, really insulting. So Saul is getting upset. Go ahead.
If I may answer my question, for months I was wondering why in the hell was Saul so mad at King David. Now,
because David getting all the juice, you know what I mean? All the women came out singing praises. King Saul see all the women come out dancing and singing, and they singing to him, and they think it's about him, and then they giving all the glory to David. They giving more glory to David.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Than Saul, man. And Saul is the king. Right. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And what can he have more but the kingdom? Verse 9, and Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
So he said, you know, they didn't gave him 10,000. They gave, what more can he have but the kingdom? What's next for him? He got the people. He got all the women. What's next? He gonna get the kingdom. So that said he eyed David. From that day, he side-eyed David. He kept his eye on David. You know what I mean? He had a side eye on David. That caused distrust. Where Saul was loving David, and David was faithful to him. David was loyal to him. David did everything that Saul asked him to do. But that right there, them women coming out and singing, they didn't intend to do it, but that's the spirit of woman. A woman do something sometime. Right. You know what I mean? Wars have been fought over women. They don't intend to start a war, but they start a war. It's thousands of brothers in jail right now.
Right.
Over half the brothers that are in jail right now are in jail because of a woman.
Right.
Either because they done been too jealous and they done killed that woman, they done killed some brother over that woman, they done sold drugs to get women, they done stole to get women. Women have a very heavy influence on men.
Right.
You know what I mean? Women are a very powerful creature.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And women right now just caused Saul to distrust David and keep an eye on him and think that David might want his throne. It's like he got the people. What's next?
Right. It's like, I mean, I gotta say this. So the thing is I believe that people who gonna be rejoicing because the Philistines, I have a Goliath, you know what I'm saying? They feared this man. And it was the thing that they wanted to get done, but they couldn't get it done. So King David just opened the door. So why the hell is King Saul getting jealous?
But see, this is after he killed Goliath.
Right.
He didn't go on to fight the Philistines, because the Philistines, of course, didn't keep their word.
Right.
When Goliath said, if you kill me, they will be your servants.
Right.
David killed Goliath, and the Philistines, they didn't drop their swords and surrender. They ran.
Exactly.
So at this point, that's what they're saying. David then went out and slaughtered the Philistines even more. So Saul then sent David out to do all this killing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And David's successful in battle. That's why when he coming back after slaughtering them, the women are singing his praises.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, and like you said, the Goliath was in the way, the Philistines in the way, so the people are happy. They don't have to fear the Philistines anymore. Now I'm sure the Philistines fear David.
Right.
So, you know, they just wanted to praise the man, but, you know, they just went about it the wrong way.
Right.
I say, go ahead.
Verse 10, and it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand, as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. So
an evil spirit came on to Saul. You know what I'm saying? Just like it prophesied. I remember early on, it said the Lord sent the lion's evil spirit onto Saul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And David came with the harp and sang a song that subdued that evil spirit off of Saul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once again, here comes that evil spirit, and David is playing. David played with his hands, so as at other times. Right. So David is playing the harp like he did before and like he's done before to calm that evil spirit off of Saul.
Right.
But this time Saul has a javelin in his hand. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice.
Now see, Saul is sitting there like before that evil spirit and got him now. Because you know what? That jealousy.
Right.
He already had an evil spirit brewing up in him that the Lord sent on him. But hearing those women sing David's praise like that, and now that evil spirit working in his mind, making his eye evil towards his brother. You see the curse?
Right.
Starting to come up on Saul, he making his eye evil towards David. You know what I'm saying? And Saul's sitting there with all this content in his heart, thinking David wants his throne. When David eventually gonna get your throne.
Right.
But the thing about it is, you know what I'm saying? David is enjoying what he's doing. He's helping you out. He's winning your wars. He's even playing the darn harp to subdue the evil spirit up out of you. But this time, Saul threw that javelin at David, and David avoided it and got out of his presence. So, and it said twice, David avoided out of his presence twice. You know what I mean? So Saul, Saul is everything is coming to the forefront now. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 12. And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul.
And that's what's going on now. Now Saul is scared of David. That jealousy, that fear, that envy, those are things that still run rampant in the Black community right now and have us out here killing each other.
Right.
That same spirit, evil spirit that's on Saul is the same evil spirit that was on those cops that beat their brother today.
Right.
That's on the drug dealers that's shooting brothers down in the street. That's on these gangbangers. You know what I mean? That's on these so-called thugs. You know what I mean? And all these cats, all of you brothers that are out there killing each other, that same wicked spirit that's on Saul that caused him to throw that javelin at David is on you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
God, 13. Therefore, Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people.
So Saul told David, basically, he kicked David out of the king's court. You know what I'm saying? He had David close to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Saul's like, no, go ahead, and made him a captain over thousands. You know what I mean? Like Captain Marquard and Captain Zara, they captains of 13,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He put David in a position like that. You know what I mean? And he did that to get him away from him. You know what I mean? Because now Saul don't want nothing. He's starting to hate David.
Right.
You know what I mean? He don't want him near him anymore. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him.
That was it. That's 7. All right, let's get these next 7 out.
Book of 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 15 in the Hebrew. Wayara'ah, Sha'awal, Ashar, Hawa'ah, Mashakayal, Ma'ad, Wayagar, Mapaniwa, verse 16, were called Yasharala, Yahawada, Ahab, Af, Dawada, Kaya, Hawa'ah, Yabataza'ah, Waba'ah, Lapana Yahum, verse 17, where you Amar, Sha'awal, Al, Dawada, Hana, Bataya, Hagadawala, Marab, Atha, Athan, Laka, La'asha, Ak, Haya, Lawa, it's like a Laya, Laban, Hayal, it's like a Kayal, Walakam, Walakamawath, Yahweh, Washa'awal, Amar, Al, Tahaya, Yadaya, Bawa, Watha, Bawa, Yada, Palashatium, verse 18, where you Amar, Dawada, Al, Sha'awal, Maya, it's like Anakaya, Wamaya, Kayaya, Mashapakath, Abaya, Bayasharala, Baya, Ahaya, Kathan, Lamalak, verse 19, Wayahaya, Ma'aith, Thatha, Ath, Marab, Bath, Sha'awal, La Dawada, Wahaya, Nathana, La'ida Ya'al, Hamakalatia, La'asha, verse 20, what the Ahab, Mayakal, Bath, Sha'wal, Ath, Dawada, Wayagadwa, La'ashawal, like Lasha'awal, Wayashar, Hadabar, Ba'ayanayawa, verse 21, Wayamar, Sha'awal, Athanana, Lawa, what the Hayah, Lawa, Lasha Wakash, like Lama Wakash, what the Ya, Bawa, Yada, Palashatim, where you Amar, Shawal, all, Dawada, Bashatayam, Tata, Katan, Baya, Hayawam. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 15 in the English. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him.
Now Saul and pushed David out to the forefront of the army. He got him away from him, and it said David behaved himself very wisely, and the Lord was with David. Now the Lord is no longer with Saul; the Lord is with David, and David knows how to keep his composure. He knows how to keep his head. He's following orders. He's not rebelling against Saul.
Right.
He's not doing anything to provoke Saul. He is doing what he's supposed to do, not only as a member of the king's court and the king's army, you know what I mean, and a captain of thousands.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's playing his position, he's holding his post, but he's doing what he's supposed to do as a man of the Lord.
That's right.
You know what I mean? David was a very, very wise man. Go ahead.
Verse 16. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them.
See, but Saul was afraid of David because no matter what he did, he could not get to him.
Right.
He threw a javelin at the man. He dipped it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
David had battle skills. Then Saul kept doing things to try to make David rebel, try to make him act up and buck up against him. And David wouldn't take the bait.
Right.
That made Saul afraid. When your enemies cannot provoke you, that makes them afraid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They fear you when they can't get a rise out of you. They fear you when they can't get the reaction out of you that they want to justify their evil against you. If Saul could have got the reaction out of David that he wanted, he would have justified it to himself and to the people of Israel to kill David.
Right.
Call him a traitor, or you know what I mean? Or that he was trying to usurp authority and take the throne. He could have justified it, but he couldn't do it. So Saul became afraid. But the people loved David.
Right.
Saul became afraid of him because David wouldn't fall for his tactics. But the people saw David going out and coming in, going out the war and coming back successful.
Right.
He came out from among the people, you know what I mean? And keeps going back to the people. They loved David.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They adored David. With good reason. David was a very wise brother at this time. You got a king trying to provoke you into treachery and you're not going. You still serving your king faithfully and loyally, and you defending and serving your people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 17. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter, Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him.
So now Saul is plotting devices. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna give you my daughter. I'm gonna give you my daughter to marry. You know what I'm saying? Be valiant on me. You know what I'm saying? Be faithful to me. Be valiant to me. Be a good soldier. Be a good warrior for me. And go out and fight the Lord's battles. I'm going to send you out to the front line to fight. He's trying to get David killed. He said, you know what? It's best that I don't kill David. I'm going to let the Philistines kill David. I'm going to send them out on the front line. I'm going to send them out in the battles and let the Philistines get him. That way, my hands will be clean of his blood. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And David said unto Saul, who am I? And what is my life? Or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king?
And he said, what have I done? You know, who am I? You know what I mean? I don't, and my family in Israel, I don't come from some royal family. You know what I'm saying? I don't come from some big rich house in Israel. Like, who am I that I should be the king's son-in-law? Like, you know, that also shows how humble David was.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He could have been like, yeah, I'm about to be son of the king. I'm in the castle. He didn't do that. David was amazed, like you, sir. Who am I to deserve this honor from you?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm nobody. I don't come from no big family. You know what I'm saying? That just shows how humble this brother was. Go ahead.
Verse 19. But it came to pass at the time when Merab Saul's daughter should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adriel the the Meholothite to wife.
So now, you see how Saul is trying to, you see what he's doing to David? He's playing mind games with David. You know what I'm saying? So when it came time for his daughter to actually marry David, Saul gave her to another man. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get a rise out of David. He's trying to get a reaction out of him. He's trying to throw him off also. Because if you are not focused out on the battlefield, you'll die. Right. If David doesn't keep his composure with this situation, you know what I'm saying? He could make a wrong move and Saul would be justified to kill him as a traitor. Right. Keep going.
Verse 20. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Verse 21. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the head of the Philistines may be against him.
See what I mean? He's like, okay, my daughter right here, she in love with him. I'm gonna give him her. He wanted my other daughter. Right. I told him I was gonna give him my other daughter, but I'm gonna marry her to him, and then I'm gonna give him this daughter. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to break David's focus. He's trying to play head games with him. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that way, when he goes out into the battle with the Philistines, he's distracted. He'll be thinking about the woman. He had the woman on his mind. He won't have his usual focus. He'll make a mistake and down the battlefield. Then Saul's problems are solved. Right. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Wherefore Saul said to David, thou shalt this day be my son-in-law in the one of the twain.
Was that the last one?
Yeah, come.
All right. So yeah, Saul is. We got enough time for us? Oh yeah, sure. All right, so we're gonna go over these next 7. But Saul is playing a very, very he's playing a extreme mind game against David. You know what I mean? He's trying to trick King David. He's trying to throw David off his game. He's trying to make David make a mistake. He sees how wise the brother is. He sees how humble the brother is. Right. You know what I mean? So he's really trying his best to have David lose focus and make a mistake that'll end up in him costing him his life. All right, let's get these last 7 before we shut it out.
Good. It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 22, the Hebrew, where it tells us what? Sha'awal, Ath, a Badua, a Badiwa, the Barwa, Dawada, Balat, La Awar, it's like La Amar, Hana, Hapataza, Bak, Hamalak, Wakal, Abadiwa, Ahabayak, it's like Ahabawak, Wa'ita, Hakata, Hata, Katan, Bamalak, verse 23, where the Barwa, Ibadia, Sha'awal, Ba'azania, Dawada, Ath, Hadabaria, Ha'ala, where you Amar, Dawada, Hanakola, Ba'ayana Yakam, Hata Nathan, Hata Kath, Hata Nathan, like Hata Katan, good night.
It's like saying Jonathan.
Right, God. Bamalak, Wa'anakia, Ayash, Rasha, Monakola, verse 24, where Yagadwa, Ibadia, Sha'awal, Lawa, La'amar, Kadabaria, Ha'ala, Dabar, Dawada, verse 25, where Amar, Sha'awal, Kaha, La Amarwa, La Dawada, Ayan, Kapataza, La Malak, Bamahar, Kaya, Bamaaha, Awalawath, Parashatrium, Lahanaquam, Bayabaya, Hamalak, Sha'awal, Hasha, Lahapayal, Ath, Dawada, Bayad, Parashatim, verse 26, where Yagadwa, Ibadiwa, La Dawada, Ath, Hadabarim, Ha'Allah, Wayashar, Hadabar, Ba'ayaniyah, Dawada, Lahadakatan, Bamalak, Wala'ah, Malahawa, Hayamayam, verse 27, Wayaquam, Dawada, Wayalak, Hawa'ab, Wanashawa, Wayak, Bapalasha Thumb, Bapalashatayam, Ma'atayam, Ayash, Wayaba'a, Dawada, Af, Awalatiyaham, Wayamala, Awam, Lamalak, Latakatan, Bamalak, Wayathan, Lawa, Sha'awal, Ath, Wayakal, Batawa, La'asha, verse 28, Wayara'a, Sha'awal, Wayadai, Kaya, Yahawa, Ain, Dawada, Omayakal, Bath, Sha'awal, Ahaba, Dahwa, verse 29, Wayasap, Sha'awal, Lara'a, Mapaniya, Dawada, Awad, Wayahaya, Sha'awal, Ayab, Ath, Dawada, Call, Hayamayam, verse 30, Wayatazawa, Sharya, Palashatium, Wayaya, Maria, Taza'atham, Shakal, Dawada, Makal, Abadia, Sha'awal, Wayakor, Shamawa, Ma'ad.
Let's close this chapter on out.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 22 in the English. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly, and say, behold, the king hath delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law.
See, Saul is plotting on David. He's trying to play to David's ego. He's trying to see if the brother has a big ego. You know what I mean? Go ahead, come on, be the king's son-in-law. He sent his servants to get in David's ear to try to garner, get an understanding to see how David's ambition, to see if he had his eye on the throne in any type of capacity, so it can justify the evil spirit. Saul is justifying that evil spirit in him. He's trying to justify that lust that he has to kill David. You know what I mean? Because he knows it's without any reason, and he see how David moves. So now he's trying to justify it. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And Saul's servants spake those words in the ears of David. And David said, seemeth it to you a light thing to be king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man and lightly esteemed?
He said, it's a light thing to y'all. Y'all roll. You know what I'm saying? You come from money. Y'all got money. So to you, it's like, yeah, be the king. He's like, man, I'm a poor man. What I know about being in the council, what I know about being the king's son-in-law. He's like, that's huge, you know what I'm saying? He's like, come on, man, y'all talking about it like it's nothing. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And the servants of Saul told him, saying, on this banner spake David. Verse 25. And Saul said, thus shall ye say to David, the king desired not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines.
So he's trying to kind of going against tradition, because, you know, when you get a wife, you pay a dowry. You know what I'm saying? There's a price to pay to marry a princess, one of the princesses of the power. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying that, send them back to him. And the servant said, you know what? The king doesn't even want a dowry for you to marry his daughter and be his son-in-law. So don't worry about being a poor man. You ain't got to pay a dowry. You got to go and take, what did it say, 1,000 or 100? Get 100 of foreskins of the Philistines. You know what I mean? So, and bring them back to the king. That's the payment. Saul is trying to send David into a situation to get him killed. You know what I'm saying? Saul is trying to have David assassinated by the hands of his enemies. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be with the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired.
So when he heard that, he was like, oh, really? You know what I'm saying? He a poor man. He can't afford the dowry of a king's daughter.
Right.
So he was like, oh, 100 of the foreskins of the Philistines, that I can do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So David was like, oh, cool. All right, maybe the king is having some mercy. Maybe I am worthy to be his son-in-law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can do this. I can pay this dowry. I can pay the price to be the king's son-in-law now. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife.
But you see, David was a mighty man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Saul's trap just backfired on him. He was hoping David would go out and get himself killed trying to bring 100 foreskins back from, from the Philistines. David went out and brought 200.
Right.
He doubled it. You know what I mean? And Saul had to keep his word and give him his daughter to marry. Now David is now Saul's son-in-law. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him.
Now he said, Saul must be going crazy in his mind because the Lord is with David and my daughter's madly in love with this dude. Right. My daughter loved this dude before they married. You know what I mean? So she's happy. You know what I mean? She got the man that she wanted. She got the man she loves. She's ecstatic. Go ahead.
Verse 29. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul became David's enemy continually.
Seeing all of this, like, the Lord is with this man. He just went out and brought me 200 foreskins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 200 foreskins of men that he slew. My daughter's in love with him. The Lord is with him. Saul is who is this boy?
Right.
Who is this sheep herder that came up out of nowhere that slew Goliath, that going out and slaughtered the Philistines at every turn?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not overly, he ain't got all this ambition. He don't got his eyes set on the throne. The people love him.
Right.
My servants love him. Hell, my daughter love him. The Lord loves him. Like everybody loves David. How everybody hates Chris, but everybody loves David.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is making Saul worry. Saul is afraid of David because he can't touch him.
Right.
He can't figure him out and he can't touch him. Go ahead.
Verse 30. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by.
So when the princes of the Philistines came out, David behaved himself in a wise manner. David kept his composure. You know what I mean? David kept his head. You know what I mean? David did what he was supposed to do, and he stood out amongst everybody. So now not only now his name is going out. You know what I mean? It said it went out much, and his name was much set by. So now the name of David, this lowly sheep herder who came, who is this kid that watched over the sheep, his name is now being spread out and he's starting to gain fame. Right. And this is driving Saul crazy. It said it made him more of David's enemy. And all David ever did was serve King Saul faithfully.
Right.
He slew Goliath. He inspired the men in the war. He slew Goliath. You know what I mean? He's going out and won battle after battle, bringing much honor and fear to the land, fear in the hearts of the enemies for the land of Israel. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Saul hates it.
Right.
Because the people love David, and the Lord loves David. The people love David. His servants love David, and his daughters love David. They all love David more than they love him. And Saul is out of his mind.
Right.
All right, and with that,
Muslim, stand. La Yashab. Muslim means to stand. Put on Kadam, me turn face east. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashamaya.
Shabashamaya.
Quadash. Hayah. Shimka. Yahweh. Malawaka. Taba'ah. Ratazai. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawak. Hayah. Bashamaya. The Thunanau. Lakam. Kal. Yawan. Wasalakana. Kabawakina. Kasalakina. Kabawayina. Wala'ah. Tabayayina. Wanasawan. Abal. Habashayina. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Lakam. Malakwa. Waha'al. Watapara. Awalami.
Aman. In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
Like the power of the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Babu Kashah, the Thunanau, Hakat, Larapa'ah, Kal Makalah, Kal Matawat, Hakat, that's a heart, Matazarayim, Lahaki, Hamati, Hakat, Al-Kawa, Tama'al, the Garashan, Ba'ashem Yahweh,
Wadaman in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. Power to cleanse the leper. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
Talbas is from the Hebrew, Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai, Baraklanau, Wayashal, Hobayah, Sapari, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wadaman.
In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ahahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Izari, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Ba'arataza, Ayathan, Namawat, Regal, Al-Yanawan, Shamar, Hanala'ah, Yanawan, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasa'ala, Yahweh, Shamar, Yahweh, Tazar, Al-Yeh, Yamika, Yawamah, Hashemah, Na'ah, Yakai, Wayarab, Belayallah, Yahweh, Yashamar, Makarai, Yashamar, Pasha, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'at, Wabawa'at, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Awalam.
In the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasharallah shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayah, Adamaya, Leka, All Takarash, All Tashikwat, All Kayahana, Awabik, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Amik, Yarayam, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'ai Tazawah, Al Tazapawayim, Amara, Lakawa, Wanakaki Dam, Magaya, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham Yashal, I would duck. Kaya. Nawai Tazawah. Labut. Yakad. Ayaka. Barya. Yakarata. Ahoya. Adawan. Wayashimai. Alayam. Nawa'ab. Wahagari. Gabal.
ball.
I'm a one.
I'm a one.
I'm a lot.
I'm a lot.
Parashah.
Parashah.
I'm Yeshabi.
Yeshabi.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Aimam.
Aimam.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zerawai.
Zerawai.
Labanya.
Banya.
The Watts.
The Watts.
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Laham.
Laham.
Kamadi.
Kamadi.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Sara'ah.
Sara'ah.
Kayabi.
Kayabi.
Panakal.
Panakal.
Koyashawan.
Koyashawan.
Nasamada.
Nasamada.
Bayan.
Bayan.
Daira.
Daira.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La Adam.
La Adam.
Shayatamba.
Shayatamba.
Nadab.
Nadab.
Yadmur.
Yadmur.
Kaira.
Kaira.
Wakazabah.
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 Wakazalmanai.
Wakazalmanai.
Call Nasikam.
Call Nasikam.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amar.
Amar.
Nairashah.
Nairashah.
Lana what?
Lana what?
Ah. Na'awah.
Na'awah.
Alahayam.
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 Shayatamba.
Shayatamba.
Kagagalah.
Kagagalah.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Panya.
Panya.
Rabakah.
Rabakah.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Daba'ira.
Daba'ira.
Ya'ira.
Ya'ira.
Wakalahaba.
Wakalahaba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Hariyan.
Hariyan.
Khan.
Khan.
Dawadat.
Dawadat.
Basa'ira.
Basa'ira.
Babasa.
Babasa.
Patka.
Patka.
Dabahalam.
Dabahalam.
Mala'ah.
Mala'ah.
Palaham.
Palaham.
White Qualawan.
Qualawan.
Wayat.
Wayat.
Wakwashu.
Wakwashu.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabash.
Yabash.
Wayat.
Wayat.
Behold.
Behold.
Adiyai.
Ayai.
Wayat.
Wayat.
Kapar.
Kapar.
Wayat.
Wayat.
Abada.
Abada.
Wayat.
Wayat.
Da'ira.
Da'ira.
Kayat.
Kayat.
Atha.
Atha.
Simka.
Simka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The body.
The body.
Ayuwan.
Ayuwan.
Al.
Al.
Cow.
Cow.
Haratha.
Haratha. In the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo.
For lo.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted.
And consulted.
Against thy hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Yasharallah.
That the name of Yasharallah.
May be no more in remembrance.
May be no more remembered.
Because they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
The Hagarenes.
Gebal.
Gebal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur has also joined with them.
Assur has also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera. As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kison.
The brook of Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
And like Zael.
And like Zael.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes as Zabah.
All the princes as Zabah.
And as Zamunah.
And as Zamunah.
Who said.
Let
us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
With
thy temper.
With thy temper.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
Whose
name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
The most high.
Over all the earth.
All the earth. So it's turn. Man of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imam Barak, Yahweh Bashim El Shabbat Thumb. Yes, Matah, Sabbath service dismissed.
Shalom Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, send the curses to them enemies.